What up, Giants fans? The offseason is unfortunately here. But the rumors are already heating up, and we're going to talk about those on today's show. We're also going to break down the latest Mel Kiper mock draft that came out today. I'll let you know who they picked in a second. I'll give you my grade, and I want to hear from you. But first, what position do you want the Giants to pick in round one? Sound off for me in the comments section down below. What up, Giants fans? I'm your host, Marshall Green, and you are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. Give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Yeah, Bill, I almost just burped again. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_. Everyone that gives me a follow, I'll give you a follow back. Just DM me Mel Kiper so I know that you came from this video. In today's show, we'll touch on those Mel Kiper mock drafts in a second. And then we're going to touch on Brandon Aiyuk because I think he is a player, and the rumors out there are already coming up that he might be someone the 49ers have to move on from as they have one of the highest salary caps in the NFL. We'll talk about that. Let's start, though, with Mel Kiper. With the 25th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, Mel Kiper has mocked wide receiver Jordan Addison out of USC to the New York Football Giants. I like the pick. I think the Giants need a wide receiver. We'll break down the pick in full. We'll show you who was on the board, what other wide receivers went. But let's first go to what Mel Kiper had to say about Jordan Addison. He said, here's another team that took a big jump in 2022. As quarterback Daniel Jones took care of the football and the defense played just well enough to keep the Giants in games, Jones's breakout came with one of the least impressive wide receiver cores in the league, especially as Kenny Golladay has not lived up to his massive free agent contract. Can general manager Joe Schoen get Jones, a free agent who is likely to return a number one wide receiver? Addison put up huge numbers at Pitt in 2021 before dealing with some injuries at USC, and he has the versatility to play outside or in the slot. He just knows how to get open. New York also will get back rookie second-rounder Wan'Dale Robinson, who flashed before tearing an ACL. I like what the Giants are building, but they have to give Jones some help. And I completely agree with Mel Kiper. You got to get Daniel Jones some help, and that's exactly what Jordan Addison is. Addison is an elite playmaker at the wide receiver spot. Like Kiper said, I like how he can line up on the outside, on the inside. He can run the full route tree. I'll give you my NFL comp in a second. But let's look at what he did in his 3-year college career. Last year he was at USC. The 2 prior years he was at Pitt. 219 catches in 35 career games, 3,000-plus yards, 14.3 yards per catch, and 29 touchdowns. This is a guy that's going to step into any offense in the National Football League and be their number one wide receiver if they take him in the first round. He's dynamic. He can run the full route tree. He's explosive. You can throw it to him deep. You can throw it to him on 3rd and 8, and then you can throw him a screen pass, and he can get loose with it. No doubt about it. It's one of my favorite receivers in the NFL draft, and I would be absolutely ecstatic if the Giants were able to land him in the draft. We'll show you in a second the other receivers that were drafted in this round, and I want you guys to tell me what you thought about the pick. But first, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Athletic Greens. Today's Giants Now video is sponsored by Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports to get hooked up with them. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health, which is something that I need. I start the day with making one great choice, AG1, and more healthy decisions then follow. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. Win-win. The comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, and Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com WRGames.com/chatsports. That link is in the comments and description of today's show. Promote gut health, support immunity, and boost energy. Get started today. I promise you're not going to regret it. The wide receivers taken in the first round of this Mel Kiper mock draft went in this order. Jackson Smith-Njigba went to the New York Jets with pick number 13. Didn't play that much this past year for Ohio State. He was injured, but he was an absolute monster in 2021. Quentin Johnson, the big play wide receiver out of TCU. My comp for him is actually Plaxico Burress. He's a big play wide receiver. He's got sneaky speed, and he's a good guy after the catch, as well as going up and high pointing the football. He had Jordan Addison going to the Giants at pick number 25, and Zay Flowers out of Boston College going 31st. He's more of a slot guy, a little bit shorter, extremely fast. I'd be cool with, honestly, any one of these guys. Another wide receiver I think that's going to go round one is Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. When you look at what these guys did in the 2022 college football season, the most production comes from Zay Flowers, who had 78 catches for 1,000 yards. Jordan Addison, his stats were a little bit down compared to what he did at Pitt with 54 grabs, 810 yards. Quentin Johnson was a big play receiver, 764 yards on 49 catches, 15.6 yards per pop. Jackson Smith-Njigba, we know how special he is if you watched what happened last season for Ohio State, but this year he was hurt and didn't really get to show what he's going to be able to do in the National Football League. To me, Addison is a smaller and more slight Stephon Diggs. His ability to line up on the outside, his ability to line up in the slot and run every single route on the tree is why I think he's similar to Stephon Diggs. He can push you vertical. He can make you stop. He can make you move out of the way with a slant up go. He's able to do whatever he really needs to on the football field. He's able to get open. He's able to find holes in the defense, and he's just as effective once the ball in his hands. As Joe Shane likes to call it, he's a generator with the football in his hands. I would be absolutely thrilled if Jordan Addison fell to the New York Football Giants at pick number 25. I know some people might say Mel Kiper doesn't know anything. He's stupid. Well, he did a mock draft last year that had the Giants select Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal in the first round. Maybe he knows something. Grade the Jordan Addison pick for me in the comment section. 6 foot, 175 pounds, extremely fast, great round runner. Grade the Jordan Addison pick, I'd say A. I think if you can get that good of a receiver at pick number 25, you're in good business. Let me know what you think, though. Grade the Jordan Addison pick A, B, C, D, or F. From the draft to a potential trade target. With Brandon Aiyuk set to enter the last year on his contract in 2023-2024 season, could the 49ers look to trade him? At the end of the day, you can say that the salary cap is fake. You could say the salary cap's not a real thing, but it absolutely is. And when you look at the highest paid players on the San Francisco 49ers, it's incredible that the fact that they are under the salary cap right now. You have a guy like Trent Williams, the highest paid left tackle. Eric Armstead, one of the highest paid interior defensive linemen. Fred Warner, one of the highest paid linebackers. George Kittle, one of the highest paid tight ends. Nick Bosa is due for a new contract. He's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the National Football League. You got a cornerback in Charvarius Ward making $16.5 million. Christian McCaffrey, his cap hits $12 million. Trey Lance, $9 million. You don't even play him. Deebo Samuel, $8.8 million, but that number is going to skyrocket in the next couple of years. It's just the way that they work that contract. It's more backloaded than front-loaded. And Jimmy Ward, a starting safety, makes $6 million. You have 10 people on this roster that make premium money, which begs the question, are they going to be able to pay a guy like Brandon Aiyuk, who's going to want $20 million per year after what he did in the 2022 season? 78 receptions, 1,000 yards, 13 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. A lot of people are going to tell me that he was able to do that because of Deebo Samuel. I'm here to tell you he was better than Deebo Samuel this past year strictly as a wide receiver. More receptions, more yards, more touchdowns. Deebo Samuel is a better football player and a better playmaker, but Brandon Aiyuk is a better receiver than Deebo Samuel. He's got better hands, he's a better route runner, and he's able to do everything a receiver needs to do. When I'm talking about football, getting the ball in their hands, that's definitely Deebo Samuel. And the reason I love Brandon Aiyuk is because he would fit the Giants' scheme perfectly. Go and think about what the Giants ask of their receivers. It's everything that Brandon Aiyuk is good at. He's an elite route runner. If you don't believe me, go into YouTube and type Brandon Aiyuk route running. He is just as good as any of the top dogs in the NFL at being able to get open on every single route. His ability to stop and start, get going this way, then that way is elite. I think he's one of the top 5 best route runners in the NFL. His yards after catch. When he was at Arizona State, he led the country in yards after catch. He can stretch the field. He can take you deep. He's got elite speed. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. And I love the fact that he can line up anywhere on the football field. He can line up outside. He could be your X. He could be your Z. And he could be your slot guy. He can come in motion and take some jet sweeps. This is exactly what the Giants want. And I think Brandon Aiyuk, in a wide receiver 1 role, he can get you 90 catches, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's how good of a player I believe that Brandon Aiyuk is. But when a player is that good, it's going to cost something to trade for him. So I want to ask you this question. Would you trade the Giants' first-round pick, number 25, for Brandon Aiyuk? Would you do it? Would you trade pick 25 for Brandon Aiyuk? Because I think that's what the San Francisco 49ers are going to want if they're going to have to trade him. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. I want to hear from you in the comments section down below. What do you think? Let me know. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. Sound off down in the comments section down below.